pro-Palestinian. Stop pretending like you guys care about every single human life equally. It is bullshit.
And then you're sitting here defending the murder of men, women, and children, and you're a disgrace to the uniform that you wore and the country that you claim that you served from.
Israel would have gotten the death toll that we've gotten in almost 3 years would have happened in 2 weeks if they had the same intent as Hamas. And again, that's with significantly more capability.
Do you think Americans would be okay with that elementary school killing all the civilians there just to get to some terrorists? That's my question.
I don't particularly care about your emotional anecdotes, okay? Problem.
You accuse Palestinians of being uncivilized because they're fighting for their freedom.
No, I call them uncivilized because they blow body parts all over in pizza shops and spiral pizza shops, and they women and they have taken 9-month-old babies and have controlled them. The youngest death in October 7th was a 10-hour-old baby.
You're like a satanic Zionist. That's what you are.
Okay, so we're going to respond to Nick Matau's 1 versus 20 pro-Israel versus pro-Palestine debate. And if you haven't watched it, I had Nick on my show recently, so you can search Nick Matau on my channel. That's Nick, last name is Matau. It was an amazing conversation. Nick is a genius. He is very, very bright. He's one of the best pro-Israel advocates, and he isn't even Jewish. He's married to an Israeli girl, but he's not a Jew. He was a nuclear scientist in the American military, and I mean, the guy has Jews love this guy. I mean, he's awesome, and he's not getting paid $7,000. I mean, hopefully, he's getting paid more than that. But the guy just knows what he's talking about, and for any of the anti-Israel people listening to this video, you can go watch the full debate, listen to it yourself, and just see how fucking smart this guy is. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, like the video, follow me at Rafi the Realtor on Instagram for all of your real estate needs in Miami and the greater South Florida area. And you can support the channel by going to the Buy Me a Coffee link in the pinned comment or description. It would mean the world to me if you were to give any sort of donation. It would greatly help me and the work that I do. Without further ado, let's check it out.
All right, guys, we got another 1 on 10 today. We got Nick here today versus 10. We have 3 prompts. The first prompt is there was/is no genocide in Gaza. We're going to get it started.
What's up, man?
All right, Matt.
All right.
Let's get it going.
All right, man. So you said you served in the military, correct?
Yeah, about 12 years.
Okay, what'd you do?
I was a nuclear engineer on fast attack submarines.
Okay, so you've never been in combat?
No.
Never been on the ground?
No,
Okay.
just on submarines.
Okay, so on submarines. Okay, cool. So you know nothing about on-the-ground conflict in Gaza, Palestine? Have you been there?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, nuclear engineer, not nuclear scientist. I should make that clear.
Last year and also about a month ago, and I don't think I know nothing. But if you're implying that
Where do you get your information?
research,
Where?
I actually research mostly pro-Palestinian stuff because I like to know what their arguments are before I do this almost on a nightly basis. So most of the time, a lot of it's Al Jazeera, Telegram groups that are pro-Hamas, Palestinian, Al Arabiya, which is more, it's not super either way. It's Saudi Arabia, Mujahideen with the Lebanese one is pro-Hezbollah. That's normally, but I read everything, right? I don't mind. I'm not the type of person that, and a lot of Zionists do this, where they're like, someone's like, I have proof, here's an Al Jazeera article, and they immediately go, I don't want to hear it, it's Al Jazeera, and it's like, no, I'll read it and debunk it if I find it to be wrong.
Okay, so are you Jewish?
No.
Okay, so you're pro-Israel, Zionist, not Jewish.
Just like most Zionists in the world, yes.
Okay, most Zionists in the world are not Jewish?
Correct.
How'd you come up with that? That's a pretty
Jews are in the
egregious
world.
statement. I have no idea, I don't count.
Just take a guess.
I mean, probably 6 million, right? Somewhere around there.
I'm
Kidding, man. That's a number from the Holocaust. Anyways,
you're like denying
so,
the Holocaust or
but
something?
well, I think the Holocaust.
You're
didn't
arguing
happen.
about genocide, but you
No,
deny
but
the Holocaust?
Okay.
Oh, that was so funny. Wow, that was hilarious, dude. Great joke.
Well, 271,000 Jews died in Germany, according to the American Red Cross,
No,
correct?
it wasn't.
Actually, it was.
So,
Look it
no,
up.
the American Red Cross was
American Red
counting.
Cross, 271,000.
I'll answer that. So if you read the report, it actually was only talking about specific concentration camps, not even the most deadly one. And also on top of that, the American Red Cross didn't actually get access to them. They were getting the numbers from only people that had death certificates, which we know, and Germany themselves admitted that they didn't write death certificates by far for most of them.
Well, we can get to the Holocaust in a second. So,
Or we can
you know,
stick to the topic.
okay, well, do you know how Israel came to exist? Because that's how we're going to get to
Well,
this
yes.
topic. Okay, let's get there. So how did Israel come to exist, in your opinion?
What are you asking here?
Well, how did it come
You're
to
asking
exist?
The domino effect, or when they declared their independence May 14th, 1948?
Well, that's not what they declared their independence, became a state, but Israel came to exist in 1917 when Israel was gifted
Thomas
to
Balfour
Lord Rothschild.
Declaration.
Yeah, after
The
Lord
Israel state
Rothschild.
did
Yeah.
not come to exist in 1917.
No, actually, it was gifted to Lord Rothschild.
Balfour
by the
Declaration
king.
never went through.
Actually, it did.
No, because
so
we know
Lord
Palestine-
Rothschild, it's framed in the Israeli museum as the founding
No, I know. I
document
read
of
it multiple
Israel.
times. It's 2.5 paragraphs, and it even says in the middle, specifically, you will not...
Exactly. So where did the Jews come
Just
from?
1 second, let me finish. Okay.
Yeah.
So it says to actually not have any problems with the local population, the Arab population, the native population. And on top of that, can you tell me what was Palestine in 1917 according to the maps that the British had? Since we're talking about the Balfour Declaration?
It was Palestine.
Yeah, what is it?
Whole area.
Borders.
Borders was the whole area that's Israel and Palestine.
Did Jordan exist?
Jordan was newer, yeah, after that.
Jordan didn't exist, yeah.
Exactly. Well, the King of
Palestine.
England also created Jordan, yeah.
Yeah, so the Balfour Declaration was actually talking about, and if you look at the maps prior to 1921, when the Emirate of Transjordan was in existence, right? For the first time, the British created.
You're burning time because you know what I'm
second
about to
phase.
say. You're just burning time for nonsense. We're talking about Israel.
You're
right
the one
now.
that brought up the Balfour Declaration. I'm correcting
and
you.
it was gifted to
The
Lord
Balfour
Rothschild.
Declaration never went through because it was talking about the land that would include all of today's Jordan. Because 4 years later is when the British, out of thin
You're
air.
talking a lot because you know where I'm about to go.
Okay, you made a claim. I told you it didn't go through.
You're not debunking. It did go through.
It
1917, it was gifted to Lord Rothschild. Lord Rothschild funded most of the Jews moved down there. Where did the Jews come from that moved to Israel or then
The
Palestine?
diaspora. But can I answer about the Balfour Declaration?
That doesn't matter right now because we're
Why did you bring it up?
we're getting
What was
to
the purpose of
genocide.
bringing it up
We're talking through a process. You're just trying to gaslight and waste time because you know where you're.
Then don't bring it up if you don't want me to answer it.
Well, you did answer it. 1917, gifted to Lord Rothschild. After that, Jews from where came to Palestine?
The diaspora. I already answered this.
Diaspora. Where's that?
Multiple different areas.
Europe. Jews from Europe.
Okay,
came
yeah,
to
some of
Palestine.
them are from Europe.
Majority,
Yes,
all of
sure.
them.
At the beginning, the early leaders, yeah, were Ashkenazi. That's true.
Yeah, all Ashkenazi. Still to this day, a Johns Hopkins University DNA test shows that 97% of Israel is not from.
So just so everyone
Middle
knows
East.
that John Hopkins actually was a screenshot made on social media, and John
was not.
Hopkins themselves came out and said this
That is
doesn't
not true.
exist.
That is not
Pull
true.
the link up right now.
The
Pull it up
university
right now.
study
Get your
did it
phone,
in the
pull it up.
90s.
Somebody pull up the John Hopkins.
They did it in
doesn't exist.
1990. It does exist.
Okay, then pull the link up and show me the active link.
No. The Jews took it down probably, but there
The
is a
Jews-
study.
So the Jews
yeah.
let it up, and then they took
Hold
it
on,
down.
hold on, hold on.
That makes perfect sense.
After that study,
Genius.
Israel. No, see, that's where you gaslight. After that study,
There
Israel
it is
made
right there.
DNA
John
testing.
Hudson's the screenshots. Can
John Hopkins
contradict it? Yes.
University. That's not contradicted. The AI is messing up. He's talking about a person
So
named
pull
John
up
Hopkins.
the active link. If it exists,
I don't have my computer on me. Sean
Does
does.
anyone have it?
Yeah.
What do I look up?
Okay, while we're at John Hopkins University DNA
pull the
study.
active
DNA.
link.
Yeah.
He said 97.
Nick is just smearing him like cream cheese, baby. Oh, I love watching Nick debate people. Oh, he's so good. This is like when Miko Peled, if you haven't watched it, Miko Peled's like this rabid anti-Zionist. He's like so smart, but yet so misled and so misguided. It's not even, but we're not going to go off on a tangent about that. But it's like Miko is like the guy Nick's debating, you know? Came to the debate, said, I'm going to smoke this guy. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm going to make it look easy. The opposite happened.
And then Israel made DNA testing illegal outside of a court after that study because all the Jews in Israel are not from Palestine.
So it wasn't after that study, and also
the settlers
So
came.
I have to be able to answer if you make a claim that's not true. Okay.
You just tried to debunk it, and
Diversity
AI
bias
couldn't.
right there.
Oh, there you go.
Is this it?
Yeah. No, this isn't it. This isn't the active link. This is talking about the bias, which proves my point. But
Can't find
No, it's saying
yeah, you can't find it because it doesn't
bias
exist.
is conjecture.
John Hopkins himself came out and said that this literally doesn't exist.
That's not true.
why no one has the active link, and why he just said the Jews who put it up also took it down because it doesn't exist.
It does exist.
So
in
pull up
multiple
the
places.
archive link then. Because if you take it
Jake
down,
Shields,
you'll
who's
still
across the
find it.
hall, has pulled it up on his podcast 3 times.
Yes, the screenshot. That's true.
Yeah, it is true.
The
Okay.
screenshot.
Let's-
you know
let's
why
not
it's not
waste
an
time.
active
You're
link?
gaslighting
Because
again.
it's fake.
You're gaslighting again. All right, so let's keep going. So the Jews come down, and then 3 militias funded by Rothschild, who Israel was gifted to, Lehi, Ergon, and Haganah, started the genocide in murdering the Palestinians. And Lehi and Ergon are now called international terrorist groups by the international community. Correct?
Well, they were. They're not in existence at all anymore.
Exactly. So the
They're here going, by
genocide
the way.
started before Israel became a state. Correct?
It was a genocide?
No, the genocide. Yeah, the genocide
Oh,
and the
okay.
killing
I
and the
haven't heard this before,
terrorism.
So 1948 was a genocide.
So Israel came in and started killing everyone and stole the
That's what
lands from the
genocide
Palestinians. A genocide is
genocide means?
your definition of genocide
Not my
is literally a
definition.
straw man argument.
It's not my
trying
definition.
To negate. It is your definition.
It's literally not my definition. It's
Okay,
the
so
Genocide Convention of
the
1948
ICJ
that was ratified in 1951.
International courts are accusing Israel of genocide. A UN commission accuses
South
Israel of
Africa
genocide.
is. They're just the courts that have the panel. Dude,
Can you pull that up? International
yes.
Criminal Court.
South Africa is the one that brought the case. The ICJ is the one that hears it. Dude, seriously.
Yeah, and the UN commission just accused Israel of what?
That UN
genocide.
commission. Right. Okay. So
You just try to excuse everything
I'm
that's
trying
actually
to answer anything. You're just gish galloping. So what you're talking about is UN commission. By the way, it doesn't even. You don't know what that means?
Yeah, the UN commission said Israel.
Do you know what that
committing
means? Gish
genocide.
galloping?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a dumb word. It sounds like a Jewish word.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a super Jewish word. Yeah, I know. IQ is hard. Anyways, so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting so much pleasure from this. I'm getting so much pleasure from this. This isn't. It's offense. It's insulting to Nick to have to debate this guy as if this guy is a genuine partner in debate, as if he's an intellectual. All he's doing is parroting nonsense. He has every single point he's throwing at Nick, he understands at surface level, and Nick has actually deep dove and gone into the topic, every single subject. You can tell but just by listening to both of them. And all this guy does is go, oh, yeah, gaslight. You bring up a point, Nick debunks you, Nick tries to further understand where you're getting your point from, what led you to your argument, And because you don't understand what led you to your argument, because you're just parroting what you've heard somewhere, you try to move away and go to something else. And Nick is holding you there because he's like, well, if what you're saying is true, let's talk about it. And he goes, gaslight.
Just look up gish galloping after. It's a very basic word. Anyways, so the commission you're talking about was an advisory opinion, and that commission doesn't even exist anymore. They were actually only putting out their last report. And by the way, they were talking about the targeting of children. Did you read the
targeting
report?
of children?
Wait,
Yes, I've read the report.
You read the whole report. How many pages was it?
I don't know the whole
Just take a
many
guess.
pages.
Just take a
I
guess.
have no
Just
idea,
take a
man.
guess. Yeah,
See,
'cause you
this
didn't
is
read
where
it. 'Cause you
gaslighting
didn't
comes
read
in,
it.
because guys
I know
like
you didn't read it
reports
because I
come
can
out,
tell.
studies are done, children are dead.
Yeah, so I read the actual report.
83% casualty rate in Palestine.
So that's also not true either. That comes from Abraham's report. Yep, okay.
It is from the IDF's own
It's
numbers.
not from the IDF's own numbers.
Yes, it is. You could, oh, dude.
Okay,
All right,
it was.
man,
Just look it up right now. It was Abraham's report.
just a liar,
yeah, if you can
man.
just stop interrupting. If I'm so wrong, wouldn't you want me to speak?
No, because
If you want me to expose myself as a liar, wouldn't you want me to speak
The
more?
IDF
You're
published
cutting me
it.
off. The IDF did not publish it. It was Abrahamson's report. He, Yuval, I believe his first name is. He said that it was an IDF. It was an IDF. Yes, not the IDF's own numbers. You see how it's green? It's saying I'm right, genius.
no, it says 83% is
Yes.
came in.
Keep
Yeah.
reading. I know it's hard to read. Keep reading.
I can't read.
Keep
behind
reading.
me,
Oh, I'll read it for you. I know it's
Classified
hard.
IDF intelligence
From
database.
Abraham's report, not the IDF. Can you read it? for us?
IDF intelligence database.
Can you let it read it?
83% civilian figure comes from a classified IDF intelligence database reported by the Yuval Abraham and Emma Graham Harrison in a Guardian investigation.
IDF
Pull up-
database.
It's saying not the IDF's own numbers. Pull up the actual page. I
IDF
promise you.
database.
Let's just pull it up right now.
Bro.
Pull up the actual article. It was the author
you're
that
just
said that.
strawmanning, dude.
Scroll down. Watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be right here. Right. He says it. It's an investigation by Plus 972 Magazine, Local Call, and The Guardian. What's the name? Yuval Abraham, like
It
I
was
said.
published in the Times of Israel, man.
He never.
By the way, if you notice, the Palestinian guy in the back, there's a man's face in the background. And I'll tell you exactly what he's thinking. Because I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a savant. But what he's thinking is, wow, this Nick guy is far more intelligent and far more knowledgeable than the guy sitting across from him. How do I know? Because I'm a Palestinian man myself. And I'm guaranteeing that that's going to be some sort of a topic of discussion, either with Nick or outside, maybe among this Palestinian guy's friends. He's looking he's intrigued, and he's actually learning something new for himself, and he's realizing, oh shit, this media war that we've been winning all this time, we're not doing as well as we were before. Why? Because Jews, people who are pro-Israel, whether they're Jews or non-Jews, are stepping up, they're putting their gloves on, and they're bringing the facts to the table. And it's hard because most of this pro-Palestine debate is emotional. Most of it is emotional. And so once you actually address the facts and you don't let people run away from their arguments, the vast majority of these arguments are very easily debunked. And you know when that's going to start to shift? When Europe really gets smacked, when Europe starts to completely get overrun by Islamic extremism to the point where they can't come out of it, they're going to look at Israel and say, holy shit, we shouldn't have been up your ass. You guys were right the whole time. That might take a decade. That might take 20 years. It's going to happen. Mark my words. Mark my words.
Actually gave the database. He just said it was from that. The IDF came out and said this is not true. By the way,
that is not true. The
I'm going to
IDF
talk about
published
this.
in the Times of Israel.
No, the IDF never. Pull up the Times of Israel and see if it says
Please.
IDF. It's
Yes.
not from the IDF.
It is from the IDF.
Okay, well, we'll pull it up and see. So that one
Regardless,
just proved you wrong. Nope, I'm going to tell you why.
civilian casualty
So, do
rate.
you know how he came to that 83%?
How?
Okay, so he took 8,900 named fighters only from Hamas. He ignores and PIJ. He ignores every other terrorist organization, and he only counts those that had a name. You can read about it when he pulls it up. And he ignored every single person that wasn't a named fighter, which would be the majority in a guerrilla warfare unit. They were counted as civilians. And anyone on the political side, like Haniyeh,
How do we know they were
fighters?
fighters? How do you know they were fighters? How can you classify their non-named fighters or named fighters? How do you even
Because
know
he says
that?
it in the report, dude. He
Yeah.
literally says it in the report.
Where's
that
he
you
getting the
never
data
read.
from? It's 83%, and you know it's published, man. And you're trying to nitpick the numbers to justify
I'm
an
trying
83%
to explain that
casualty rate.
he got it based off of only counting named fighters.
That's your opinion.
No, he said. Can you just pull the report back up?
That's your
he
opinion.
says it in the report.
Let's see it.
Scroll up.
Because it doesn't say that anywhere else.
Scroll it up. Scroll up.
All the way.
Yep, all the way. It's in
Just the
the
top.
sub. Scroll down. Scroll down. Hold on. Okay, you're going
Yes.
I don't know. Try to control F named or 8,900 or whatever.
Yep.
No. No, nothing for 8900.
Maybe the
Named?
comma.
Yeah.
Named. There it is, right there. 100 to 300 senior Hamas operators out of a total of
It's
750
talking about
named,
since October 7th.
named in the database.
Since October
Look,
7th.
What does that last paragraph say? Look,
It
can
doesn't
you highlight?
matter. That's
Just
still
real
the
quick,
number.
highlight the last paragraph.
It's still the number.
Stop. No, the last paragraph. The last.
Oh shit.
Oh,
My
man.
bad.
It says it right there. Just stop trying to.
Where's
You know
it?
where it's going, so you're scared.
No, no,
What does it
no.
say? What does the last sentence say? The Guardian obtained the numerical data from the database without the names or additional intelligence report.
What does
It's
that even
saying-
matter? It's saying 83% from what
Okay,
they have.
you're a combat veteran?
Yeah, I'm a combat veteran. I was a Green
Do
Brain
you
and CIA
agree that you're
agent.
not going to have the name of every... Did you fight against any guerrilla warfare units?
Yes, I actually was one of the
Okay,
guys who created
Perfect.
ISIS.
Okay, great. Do
Yeah.
you agree that
For
you're not...
Israel.
Okay, great, awesome.
Yeah.
Do you agree that every person you kill, you're not always going to have the name of that fighter?
I mean, of course.
So
yeah.
would it be fair if somebody came and looked at your numbers and said you actually
Oh,
killed
so maybe it's
1
80%.
second-
Come on,
No,
man.
you don't get to... Wait, would most of them be named or would most of them be unnamed by your experience?
Almost all of them would be named. Usually, you find an
You
ID.
would name them
No, they would find a name. You find an ID when you kill people, man.
in a guerrilla warfare unit. Okay.
Yeah, you do. Everyone has
Maybe
an
it's
ID or some
80%,
type
or
of
maybe
government
it's 75%,
documentation.
maybe it's 20%. We don't know. Dude, let me
man,
just ask you this question
it's
and try
just
to be honest.
pathetic
Do
where
you
you're going with
think
this.
do you think it's dishonest to only count named fighters? Regardless if you think it's 90%, 10% or whatever.
I don't think it's dishonest, no, because the majority have some type of documentation, man.
No,
Even in
no.
Syria, yes, they do. You don't know shit. You were
I
on a
didn't say in
submarine.
Syria. I'm talking about
You
Gaza.
fought on a. It's the same thing. There's no difference. It's still the Middle East. People are documented every time
Do you think
someone's
the
born,
IDF
it's
is
documented.
going and searching their bodies and not fighting?
It's
or
being
leaving an
reported
area?
by the Palestinians as well.
Yes,
and their
correct.
names
What
are
does that have to
reported.
do with this report?
Well, it's the same thing. The numbers are the same on both sides.
The numbers, they've never came out and said 83% are civilians.
That has
Hamas-
been acknowledged
Hamas has
since.
not come out and said any
I
of this.
bet, yes, 2 months after October 7th, man. See, the
Yeah, the
problem is
Ministry
if
of Health
people
has
like
never
you
come out and said
try to,
this.
you take a statistic or you take a fact and you try to find little loopholes to like invalidate it. And
Oh,
that's
how
the
dare
biggest
I
problem
read the
with this
report?
article.
How dare I read the
It's
report?
not
Oh
reading
my
the report.
gosh.
What you just said has happened has nothing to do with the numbers. Nowhere in that document did it say that refutes their number.
Literally just read it.
We did, and it didn't
You
refute
said
it.
it didn't say.
Okay, so now we're gonna skip to another. Let's see. Okay, let's skip to this one. Oh, are they yelling?
You're changing your claim.
Hold up, time out. I'm not changing my claim. Salvation is through Jesus, but the people he's talking about in context of that verse is not the Jews. The Jews changed the Bible later,
I never
specifically after the Schofield
That's
Bible.
regardless.
Jesus never said Jew because
because
Jew didn't exist.
Didn't mean.
Jew was created in the Middle Ages. The word Jew did not exist till like the 1500s. Actually, the J was invented in 1524.
So it would actually be the original.
Jews are just
Hebrew.
full of
Sure.
shit.
It actually comes
Yeah.
from the original Hebrew, and it actually comes after the Babylonian exile. You're incorrect.
Ivrit. It wasn't called Hebrew. It was called Ivrit. And
It's
Jews, when they
Ivrit. Holy fucking shit, you're dumb, dude. It's
No.
not Ivrit. And do you know what Ivrit means? It's Hebrew for Hebrew. In English, it's called Hebrew. The Hebrew is
It was a
Ivrit.
Canaanite
It's
language.
like saying it's not Persian, it's Parsi. Yeah, that's the Persian word for.
Canaan,
Oh my
dude.
god, dude. Can you please get
People,
somebody that knows
I
what
love
he's
it when
talking
you.
about?
No, you're just getting angry because I'm
You
proving
just
everything you
said
said
it's not
wrong.
Hebrew, and
All
then
you
you
have
used
is
the
anger
Hebrew
because
word
I'm
for
proving you.
Hebrew.
No.
Can somebody look up the Hebrew
Okay,
word
talk
for
about.
Hebrew?
That's the English word is Hebrew.
Correct.
Ivrit was what it was called. That's the name. Yeah, man. You were dancing.
You
in
said it
circles.
wasn't called Hebrew, it was called Ivrit.
Ivrit is
Right,
the name.
the
Hebrew
Hebrew-
is what it's called now in English.
How do you say Persian in Persian?
I have no idea. I'm not Persian.
You don't have to be, okay, Parsi, or as it later was Farsi, because the Arabs could not pronounce the P, so it became Farsi.
Exactly.
Right?
So
what
Hebrew,
you, hold on, almost
time
done.
out.
What you just said essentially was, it's not Persian, it's Parsi or Farsi. Do you
No. What I
understand
just
how dumb
said
that sounds?
is you call an language that was called Ivrit Hebrew now. Do you know how
That's
dumb
the
you
English
sound?
translation, we're speaking
That's not the English translation.
We're speaking English.
That's the Jewish lie.
Oh my
That's
God.
because
You're
Jews tried to take
speaking
Hebrew.
English.
We are
I said
speaking English.
Hebrew because that's the English translation. What was Jesus'
That's not the name of the
Why
language.
did you say Jesus?
Yeshua.
Yes, why did you say Jesus?
Did you say Jesus because
Why?
that's common knowledge?
Why?
Because the
Why
Romans
did you say
translated it,
Jesus?
They couldn't pronounce
Why
it.
did you say Jesus and not Yeshua?
When they were doing the canon, they
Why
changed his
did you?
name.
Why are you saying it right now?
Because majority of people know Jesus.
Because of what language you're speaking, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
But you can still say Yeshua because that's
Yes,
his
and I
actual
could have
name.
said Ivrit, but you wouldn't have known
it's
what
not
that
because of
meant.
what language I'm speaking. Hold up, and that's where you're way wrong. They translated it during the canon creation of the Bible.
this is
And
hilarious.
it's not hilarious. You're a
is.
fucking retard. I don't think I've had a conversation with someone as dumb as you.
It's not
when they
Persian,
when they
Oh my god. Ah.
It's not Spanish, it's Espanol.
You're saying that, not me. Ivrit was the name of the language. You're calling it
You're
Hebrew
correct.
because Jews who
That's
are
the
liars
Hebrew-
about.
Are you guys seeing the Palestinian guy in the background? Just seeing his face because he knows Nick is smoking him. He's acknowledging it. He's like, he's on the opposing side, but he's fucking creaming him. You see it.
for Hebrew.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it's Ivrit.
it is.
No, it's not. Do you call it Hebrew now?
If I say,
Oh my God.
wait,
No.
I'm saying I am speaking.
That's like saying a Judean's a Jew. It's retarded. You have a straw man argument about everything.
What the Hebrew word for Hebrew is?
It's Ivrit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the name of the language.
agree.
It's not Hebrew. It's Ivrit.
That's the Hebrew word for the
No, it's not.
language.
That's the name of the language. You're calling it Hebrew.
That's the Hebrew word for Hebrew.
That's not the Hebrew word. That is,
pull my phone out
what are you
real quick.
talking about? Hebrew word.
This is so frustrating because this other guy is not understanding what Nick's trying to say, and this guy's calling Nick the idiot. It's so crazy. It's so frustrating. I'm getting so frustrated for him. Oh my God.
Pull it up right now. Okay.
Yeah, we're going in circles.
We're going in circles.
Let's
There's
wrap
going
this up.
nowhere. Yeah, man.
It's been a while.
My point is, man, you are just trying to change definitions. Yeah.
So I know.
You've reached.
Thank you.
Okay, wrap it up though.
Okay, that doesn't matter because
You're a
it's
retard.
oh man, dude, I'm done with people like you. Man.
Bye.
Yeah. Good luck, buddy.
All right. I think we have our first person coming up now. Please state your position.
First, I'd like to start by saying that I am a Palestinian American, and I come from a small town in the Middle East called Bethlehem. That's my hometown. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. Yeah, I was just there. And before we get into the discussion, before we get into talking and debating, let me ask kindly from you, not to say that you agree with me because you don't, and not to say I fully with you because that's a kind of show, in my opinion, that you're doing to the viewers. I am extremely disappointed with an American soldier or a veteran who served for 12 years in the Navy to still come and talk in so heartless way about the death of civilians, about the death of people, humans. You argued for the past hour and a half whether it's a genocide or not. And the way you mentioned and the way you talked about that was extremely disrespectful, ridiculing for the lives of fellow humans, Christians, many of them in Bethlehem. I kindly ask you to keep it respectful, genuine, and not for the show, if you don't mind.
Everything I said was what I believe. I don't do this.
It's the same nonsense Miko tried to pull on me. It's just that he knows he's going to have a very hard time debating him, so he's trying to get a win. He's trying, let me get one win before the debate starts.
I'm not saying about what you believe. I'm saying about how you said it. We have so many circuses in Vegas here and so many clowns there. We don't need any more clowns.
I can't. I'm not going to change the way I speak.
All right. Then you can simply say that. So you're claiming that there should be no Palestinian state for Palestinians. What's your suggestion on that? What's your alternative?
Well, first, there's many alternatives that are proposed, but I don't particularly care. The claim is that I don't believe there should be a Palestinian state in the West Bank. I'm not here to determine what I think should or shouldn't happen. I do not want there to be a Palestinian state because I find it to be another. It would just be another terrorist-ridden state that is
Another
the
what?
proxy,
Another
a
what?
proxy of the IRGC.
So this is definitely insulting for many millions of Palestinians who live there in Bethlehem, in Jerusalem, in Ramallah, in Nablus, in all the cities that are in the West Bank.
Jerusalem's not in the West Bank.
Palestinians who lived there for centuries before the establishment of the Vogue state of Israel, the terrorist state of Israel that you're supporting, the state that has kids signing their names on rockets before they launching them at the kids of Gaza, a state that teaches its citizens how to be racist from kindergarten age, a state that killed so many.
Everything you're accusing Israel of, Ahmed, your people do, and they do it much more. Raising kids in kindergarten? Yeah, okay. You literally have TV shows and Bugs Bunny-like characters. You have all kinds of terrorist songs. You have all kinds of cartoons about stabbing Jews, sermons in the mosques, like on and on and on and on. Suicide bombings, bus bombings.
Americans, whether at USS Liberty or throughout the years, it saddened me that someone like you supports such a terrorist regime and go out strongly talking about their values and their fairness and all these things. So for us as Palestinians, when we look at someone like you talking about these things and rejecting our basic human rights and human dignity by having our own self-determination right, I don't understand.
I'm not actually, instead of bringing actual arguments to the table, I'm just going to tell you how offended I am.
Where's that coming from?
Do you want a state or do you want self-determination or both?
I want anything that will give me a dignified life. I don't mind living side by side by Jews in one land, in one state. I don't mind that.
I don't mind Arabs living there either.
Who are you to say you don't mind? You're an
We're
American.
we're debating the topic.
I'm not asking you to mind or not. You disagree with the idea. You don't want Palestinians to have a state, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that is correct. But I just want to say that
You call
when
them
you say
terrorist
that,
people. You call them
I do not
proxy.
think
You
that the
call them.
Palestinians are all terrorists. I didn't say that. You're misrepresenting my words. And also, I don't buy into this. Who are you? And to listen, you're right. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Arab. But I have every right to have an opinion on this matter, just like anybody else.
Having an opinion about something is different about going around publicizing and promoting strongly such an ideology.
Yep, I'm an American.
You know,
I can do that. That's true.
Watching an ER show doesn't make you a doctor. Watching Law and Order doesn't make you a lawyer. Watching Fox News doesn't make you a political analyst or
Agreed, 100%.
right? So you can say I don't agree. You don't say, but you don't have the right to dictate on us Palestinians to decide what we want to have and how we want
I
to.
don't think I ever said what you guys should decide. I think you're really emotional arguments right now. I never said what you should decide. Decide for whatever you want. You have every
cousins
but
who
this
were
doesn't
killed.
get us anywhere.
I have families who were
Okay, but
murdered.
that's not the same as misrepresenting my arguments. Tell me one time I ever said that I am going to decide what you should think. I never said that, ever. I said
so
that
there's-
I'm giving my opinion and my opinion alone, and I have every right to do that, not just as American, but as a human being. And you have no
You're
right to tell
taking
me
that
I
right
don't
from
have
me.
that.
You're taking that right from
I
each
don't. I think you
Palestinian.
should absolutely have every right to tell me your opinion. That's why
So-
we're talking. How am I taking that from you? We're speaking right now.
So what are we talking about here? What are we trying to discuss here?
Well, right now, I'm asking you, how did I take that away from you when I flew all the way over here to come speak with you and others? What part did I take your right to give your
My
opinion
right
or your
to say
beliefs?
I want to have a homeland.
You have every right to say that. When did I say you didn't?
I'm not saying about me saying. I'm saying we're debating. The claim is you're saying Palestinians cannot have a land, cannot have a state.
I am saying there should, my opinion, not yours,
Mm-hmm.
that there should not be a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, what you call the West Bank.
And why is that?
That's my opinion.
So what are we doing here? Are we discussing your opinion?
Sure.
What are we trying to do here?
I'm going to repeat what I already said before you went off on the emotional tangent.
I didn't go.
I will.
You're the one who's so emotional today, and actually creating a little circus here. So
Okay.
don't start.
Okay. All right. This is how Arabs are, man. This is how Arabs are. Like this just he's not actually making any points. He's just offended. He's offended. That's all it is.
Oh, wait, please.
Anyway, so once again, I believe that the ideology and the culture of the Palestinians, which I find to be problematic for the Palestinians themselves, although that's not my concern, is problematic for the security of the land, even to the other Arabs.
So you're saying Palestinians inherently are violent people. They want to kill people right and left.
I love a straw man argument. I don't
That's what you
believe
said. Well, I'm
anyone's
trying to understand.
inherently. I said their culture and ideology. That's not inherent. Inherent means from birth.
Okay, you're saying that
Say the words that I
Palestinian
said.
culture-
Don't
you're
tell me
saying-
what I said.
Okay, I'm going back with your statement. You said the Palestinian culture is violent and wants to kill
I
people
never
around
even
them.
said violent
What
or
did you
kill.
say?
I didn't. I said it's problematic for the security of the region. And also,
The
I don't
Palestinian
believe.
culture is problematic.
I also don't believe, especially when offered multiple times, but I do not believe in just giving, especially Judea and Samaria, to a people who, again, have rejected it multiple times that I don't think actually want it. Maybe you do. I'm not speaking for you. But on top of that, because they do enough acts of terrorism and kill enough people, and so the international community
So the
starts talking about
Israeli army is committing a lot of killing and terrorism. Why
even
they
if that
getting
was
right?
true, that doesn't change anything that I said. You're trying to use a whataboutism right now, right? You're saying, well, the Israelis did it too.
I'm
Even
not-
if
I
I
didn't-
agreed with you, which I don't, what does that have to do with what I said?
We're trying to establish some standards for your claims. Why are you
Okay.
saying that? Are you just had a dream? You woke up this morning, you said that's what you think about Palestinians, or there are certain foundations and principles behind your statement? You're saying Palestinians' culture is not to be trusted, not to be cannot live in peace. Is that what you're saying? I'm trying to use your words.
Yeah, I am saying that the Palestinians have had a history of undermining not just Israel, but even surrounding
Why
Arab
would they do
nations.
that? Let me know. Why would they do that?
You tell me why they tried to kill the third Egyptian president. You tell me why they killed the king of
well,
Jordan, why they killed the prime minister of Jordan. Tell me why they sided with Saddam Hussein.
Who killed Rabin?
Yeah, an Israeli, and I'm
Okay,
glad
so-
he was arrested and he's not celebrated.
So listen,
Thank you. That's the point. You just proved
Thank you
my
for what?
point.
I didn't prove
He's
anything.
not celebrated.
prove anything.
He's
Don't
not.
put words
He's
in
not
my mouth.
promoted. Whereas Hamas terrorists and others
Have you watched the movie
are
Patriot?
promoted.
Have you watched the movie Patriot?
Yes, I'll go.
What did you think the British royalty thought of what's his name, Benjamin Martin?
I probably didn't like him. I'm not sure.
You didn't
what
like
your
him,
question-
the hero of the movie,
You're asking me what the government thought? I'm sorry.
the royalty, the king, the king of England. What did they think of those Americans who were fighting for their freedom?
Yeah, I assume they wouldn't like people fighting
Correct,
for their
and that's what
freedom.
you're doing exactly. And Palestinians were living in prison.
This is false equivalency. This is
It's
ridiculous.
Perfect.
Don't tell me
analogy.
that because another people did it, therefore I must be doing the same thing. Just tell me why I'm wrong.
You're wrong because you're not looking at the history of imprisonment and
You
brutal
didn't answer my
occupation.
question.
I am.
You didn't. You said when I brought up how they've also undermined surrounding Arab nations, you said, what do I mean? And you cut me off as I was explaining it. Why did they side with Saddam Hussein where Kuwait had to kick them out? Why did they do the Palestinian insurgency?
When you say that, you're talking about
the
the
Kuwaiti government
people.
and the Palestinian insurgency that was the crux that led to the civil civil war that led to the death of 130,000 to 250,000 civilians. Many of them were Christians, by the way.
The thing is that you're not giving yourself, you're not giving
just asking
others
you, why
the
did they
same
do
rights you're
that?
giving yourself. You put percentages up and down, and you say, oh, it's low when it's supporting your idea or your argument, but it's high when it's supporting the other side's argument. I'm trying to tell you here that Palestinians lived for 75 years under brutal occupation. They were murdered, killed, imprisoned, tortured. Their land were confiscated, their homes were bombed, their children were killed, their fathers were in prison. They lived under brutal occupation. What do you expect from us to do?
Were they occupied under the British?
They were occupied under the British.
You said 75 years. I'm just wondering. Were they
I'm
occupied under the
about the
Turks?
current situation.
Were they occupied under the Turks?
No.
They were not occupied under the Turks. So they're
Absolutely
Turks.
not. What?
The Turks owned the land, that's
Ottoman
correct.
Empire.
Yes, they owned the land,
Ottoman
correct?
Empire was
You're saying the
was
Ottomans didn't
a
occupy
complete-
Palestinians?
It was not occupation. It was an empire that ruled so many lands and so many ethnicities.
So they were
back to the discussion.
occupying it, okay.
Back to the discussion about the 75 years of an Israeli occupation. Now we're talking about Palestinians fighting Israelis.
Yeah, sure. So I don't believe
So
that.
why would you not give them the right to do that?
Yeah, so even if you go with the right, since we're speaking of legality, even if you go with that, you have to follow Additional Protocol 1. Palestinians do not do that at all. Hamas does not do that. I don't know what you think of Hamas, but it's irrelevant, honestly.
Any occupied people who have no ability to fight back, they will use any tactics to fight back.
They will, or do they have the right to?
I didn't say they have the right to. That's an
You literally
expected
said,
outcome.
why don't they have the right? You did
They
say that.
said they have that's expected. You put any group of people under the same circumstances
and
that the Palestinians are being put through, they will fight back.
And
They're not going to sit down and be sitting ducks.
I got it. What I'm saying is that occupation doesn't breed terrorism. Terrorism breeds occupation. The security of that area is going.
No.
Okay,
No,
you have to let me finish. I heard what you said. I got it. You don't agree with me. That's why you're on that side of the table. You don't have to tell me you don't agree with me. I got that. What I'm saying
Doesn't look
is
like
that
you do.
I get that you don't agree with me. Trust me. I promise you I do. Anyways, every single time that this has happened, more terrorist attacks, it has led to more security, more checkpoints, walls being built that have lowered the percentage by, I think it was like up to 90% by the time the wall was finished, of terrorist attacks that were happening in Israel proper, maybe more actually. And so, yes, you can't also expect the Israelis to do nothing when they're also attacked with terrorist attacks. Now, I get you want them to do nothing because you don't like them, and I respect your opinion, but from a logical standpoint, they're also going to do something about it, whether it be more checkpoints for security, or if it'll be a war.
But the reason the fighting happened because of these really aggressive measures that are taken against Palestinians. Have you ever saw Palestinians?
They want that to happen.
Have you ever saw Palestinians standing on a checkpoint? Have you ever noticed how long does it take for them to go to a hospital or to work or to
I've seen
school?
both. I've seen them go right through at times, and I've seen them be with me as well,
So
stop for a while.
You have to understand how the masters of PR is the
I've
Israeli
been to
government.
these places,
When you
Graves.
go to these places, they make you see what they want you to see. And a journalist,
knew I was gonna go there?
A journalist going to Palestine, the Israeli soldiers will make them
I'm not a
sign.
journalist.
I'm not
They
talking
didn't
about you.
know I was there.
I was not talking about you.
So then how do you explain my experience when I went through a checkpoint?
I'm telling you how they make sure that wrong things or horrible things are not shown to the world. A journalist goes
How
through.
convenient.
The journalist goes through the checkpoints or the borders from Jordan to the West Bank. They have to sign a document that they are not allowed to write or share the things that they see.
Yep, and the journalists in Gaza have said the exact same thing. There was a famous one, I can't remember his name, that came out and said a gun effectively was to his head while he was in Gaza, because the Gazan people, Hamas, the government also told them what they could or couldn't see. I don't know if he's lying or if what you're lying or what you read. I'm not going to say you.
I'm not talking about reading. See, the difference between me and you and
I didn't say
everybody
anything
else,
about reading.
I'm not talking about things that I read. I'm talking about things that I lived.
You're a journalist.
No, I things I've seen when I cross the borders. When I go from Jordan to the West Bank, when I go from Jordan to Palestine,
I believe
see
you.
things right there and then.
I believe you.
I go as a little kid, going through these borders, crossing the points.
Yes, I'm sorry your parents made very bad decisions and the people before you
How
made
did
very
my
bad
parents
decisions, and it
how did my
led to
parents
high insecurity in the land.
How did my parents make bad?
Yeah, well, see, what Ahmed doesn't want to come to terms with, and what a lot of pro-Palestinians don't want to come to terms with, is that these checkpoints didn't always exist. These checkpoints became prominent after the Second Intifada, when Israelis were getting blown up left and right. There were attacks, stabbings, shootings all the time for years. They set up a wall which decreased the suicide bombings. They don't really happen anymore. They stopped the attacks. They didn't stop the attacks. They're still happening, unfortunately, way too often. But they decreased the level of attacks by miles. This was a measure that worked, and it's a measure that still works.
That decision.
Again, by supporting what has led to this
There was
moment.
no Hamas for 86. I used to cross the
when
border.
did I say Hamas? Do you think
Then
Hamas
what are you
is like,
talking about?
Does the PLO a terrorist organization? Were they the ones who did the attack?
There was no attacks.
I'm
before-
not saying that there
before
was
the
an attack in
Intifada.
that specific year. I'm not saying that.
The Intifada that took place, because of years and decades of
it was
brutal
87 to
occupation.
93.
There was nothing before.
There was
it.
no attacks ever before 87.
Not on the same scale.
I agree. And
Not on the
also,
same
the
scale.
security's not on the same scale. Thank you again for proving my point. I agree with you.
Stop saying this. I'm not proving your point.
You're saying it's not on the same scale. I agree with you. The security
I
and
am telling
checkpoint.
you,
one sec,
I was
one sec.
humiliated as a child.
I'm
crossing
sorry
the
that happened to
borders.
you.
No, you're not.
You're right. I'm not.
You're-
I don't particularly care about your emotional anecdotes.
You
Okay.
just said to
You
everybody
might be
don't
telling
care.
the truth. You might be
you
not.
just
I
told
have
the
no
other gentleman
idea.
you don't care.
Do you believe?
You have no feelings whatsoever. You are a
don't
cold-blooded
know
human being.
okay.
With all due respect.
Fine. I don't care what you think about
So
me.
don't say that. Oh, I care for you. Don't lie.
I never once said
You
that.
just said you. I'm sorry. You're not
I'm
sorry.
just trying to get you to stop bringing up. Do you believe my experiences through the checkpoints in Judea, Samaria, West Bank? When I told you what I went through when I went through the checkpoints, and I saw Palestinians
I
going
believe
through.
what you saw, but I don't know if that was intentionally designed when you're there because people know you're there. People, you have to
So
understand.
they were just doing it just in case. It's not like I called them and said, "I'm going to this checkpoint at this time."
Oh, believe me, they know where you're going. Oh,
Gotcha.
believe me, they
So
know
it's
where you're
all
going.
just everyone
Absolutely.
else also
The
who went through
highest-
checkpoints
the
and saw the same
highest-
thing, who
the
don't know who they
highest
are
level of
because they're not
intelligence-
influencers.
The highest level of intelligence is by the Israeli government.
So what about the
They
same?
know every
What about
step
I got
you're
it.
gonna walk
What about the
through.
same people who are not influencers? Israel's not going to be like, "Oh, hey, I know that guy,"
They-
and they also have the same experiences.
You have to understand there is an effort to gain the hearts and the minds of the Westerners. When Westerners are there, a total different treatment Palestinians have, 100%.
Gotcha. Listen, what I'm trying to say is I either do or do not believe your anecdotes. Maybe they're true, maybe they're not, maybe they're a mix between the two. I'm saying I don't care in the purposes of this debate because it doesn't get us anywhere, just as much as it wouldn't get me anywhere to only bring up anecdotes. If you have an anecdote that gets you to something that we can talk about, fair enough. But what I'm saying, right, to get back to the prompt, right, there should be no Palestinian state. What I'm saying, right, is that I agree with you that there wasn't as much prior to the first Intifada, 87 to 93. There wasn't as much before that. But there also wasn't as much security and checkpoints
But there was
before
as
that.
much humiliation and brutal occupation. There was. I've seen elder cab drivers when they stop at the checkpoints before 1986. Why are you rolling your eyes?
You're doing another anecdote. I got it.
I'm
You
giving
saw
you
it.
true stories.
Okay.
I'm giving you true stories.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
I'm telling you what things used to happen and why the Intifada took place.
Listen, I would do the same thing to pro-Israelis. There's a lot of pro-Israelis who come up when they try to debate and they go off on their anecdotes. It's not that I don't believe that you haven't suffered or people around you haven't suffered. It's not that I don't believe Israelis haven't. They will also have all the anecdotes that you have.
It's we're trying to say the end of this suffering is not going to happen until Palestinians have their own self-determination state. They can have their freedom and
Their state.
dignity. Whatever it is.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well,
Let's get to the crux of this. So you believe it should be in the West Bank,
I believe
and East
you
Jerusalem is
have,
the capital, I assume?
you have several options or several solutions for this situation. I don't mind the one-state solution. I don't mind.
Right, but you
Arab
just said right now, this
Christians.
will not stop until they have their own self-determination state. I'm quoting you. So
it could be in conjunction with the Jews. It doesn't have to be just only Palestinians. I'm not saying as long as there's nobody telling me you cannot go to work every day, as long as there's no one's telling me you cannot have an army, you cannot have police force, as long as someone's telling me you're not allowed to speak up freely about what you think.
stop doing terrorist attacks.
Well, I'm not doing terrorist
I'm
attacks.
not saying you specifically.
But
At
the
least
punishment is collective. It's going on everybody.
No, suffering is collective, and that's 100% true, and that
can
should
play-
be.
you can
but
play
that
the
is not
chicken
the
and egg
same
all the
thing.
time.
So okay, let me ask you something. Do you agree? Do you agree that
historically speaking,
I got it.
terrorism was never came
I
out
got
of
you.
vacuum.
I got you.
Always after
Yes,
occupation
listen.
and brutal treatment.
Yeah, everyone. Why do we give
sorry, I'm giving you a
Islamic?
headache. I'm sorry, I'm
No,
giving-
it's just so funny that a lot of people went through this kind of stuff and they didn't. You said terrorism doesn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of people throughout history in Europe and in Asia also went through brutal treatments and they didn't become terrorists. I'm sick of this idea where we give
the Northern Ireland Army, whatever it is, that they did commit certain atrocities and terrorism. You look at throughout according.
Yes, I didn't say they never have. Listen,
Americans,
never
according to the
said-
British royalty,
Yes.
committed acts of terrorism.
I didn't say it never happened. Once again, you're taking my words and twisting it up. I didn't say it never ever happened. You never can give an example. I'm saying relatively. And we don't see that. We bombed the shit out of Dresden. We didn't see them create a Fourth Reich. We sent 2 fucking sons into Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and we didn't see them go back to Imperial Japan with a god living on Earth, as they thought. Okay? I am done with this idea. Listen, I don't think we should be in the Middle East as much, right? But that's a separate argument and a separate topic. But I am done with this idea of this victim card where we're only terrorists because you did this to us. You said it doesn't happen in a vacuum.
It absolutely doesn't happen in a vacuum. You go to a African American neighborhood and call the N-word. What do you expect to happen to you?
Is that what you're comparing this to?
Yes, that's what I'm comparing to you. What's wrong with that comparison? I'm telling you, people have
depends on who you say it to.
People have different feelings. Don't expect Palestinians, don't expect Arabs, don't expect Middle Eastern to be bombed with a nuclear bomb and then just sit down and do nothing about
Jesus.
it. Because you compared the Japanese incidents, right?
Then you try to do that to the Palestinians. Yes, you're correct. They're gonna have
They're not
feelings.
gonna react to this
I
exactly.
never once said they're not gonna have feelings.
Well, not only
what
that,
I said is I don't care
will
about
fight back.
that. Okay, and yes, and there's ways to fight back.
Are you listening to yourself?
What? I don't care about their feelings.
You don't care. Period. Yeah, you said that.
In terms of a debate, no, not at all, not even a little bit.
Well, this is not a game for you. For you, maybe it's a game. Maybe
I don't think
points,
it's
try to get more viewership. But for me, it's so personal. It's a living experience.
I believe that, and that is irrelevant to what I said. I'm saying for the purpose of our conversation, I do not care about this idea of like, well, here's my emotions and feelings. I'm not saying that you can't have them. I'm not saying you don't have them.
It's all
Okay, so this is a long video, but ultimately Nick did incredibly well here. And the last guy, Ahmed, he wants Nick to sit here and be emotional. And Nick could play into that if he wants to. There could be a point to say that understanding where the Ahmed's coming from would maybe help the debate, but that's just moving away from the main topic here. Nick is coming to debate the subject matter or the subjects. He's not here to sit here and have an empathy contest. Because either way, this guy's not going to think that Nick's empathy is genuine. So he's trying to suck Nick into this empathetic tornado, and Nick's not into it. Nick, he's essentially saying, because you're not looking to eat the empathy salad with me, you're a bad person. And he's simply saying, no, it's a shame people are dying, but let's talk about why. Let's get to the bottom of it. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of the argument. With that said, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, like the video. Follow me at Rafi the Realtor for all of your real estate needs in the Miami and greater South Florida area. And you can support the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description or pinned comment. I look forward to you tuning into the next one. Thank you as always for watching. Until next time. Peace.